Okay, welcome everyone to our Challenger call for the week. This week we're going to talk a little bit about how to win your week. My name is Angie and I am one of the coaches, and I am a homeschooling mom of 9. I have kids from 23 down to 3. So this is something that has changed and adapted and been very different over all the different years. So if you have comments or questions, please put them in the chat and I will get to them as I can. If you have any comments or things that you'd like me to add, or the ways that you work, please put those in the chat and I'll make sure that I say them out loud so people can hear them in the recording. So I have 5 tips of the things that I do, but before we get to those, I want to make sure that anybody who's watching this who's doing Clean Week, if you have done Clean Week in the past, we would like to encourage you to up your goal just a little bit. So if you've done Clean Week in the past and you have done, you've kind of done the workouts but not the food, or you've done the food and the shakes but not the workouts, we'd like you to try to add one little baby step in for this week. So for those of you doing Clean Week this week, that's our challenge for you. For everybody else, we would just like to hopefully keep you on track, and hopefully this will be a great week for you guys. So 5 tips for how to win your week. And I'm warning everybody now, I'm kind of fast and I will be done and you'll be like, it's only 20 minutes. And that's the way it is. That's how I go. I don't have a lot of time, not a lot of extra time in my life, so I'm fast about this stuff. So the first tip, the first thing that I do each week is I review last week. What worked? What didn't work? What were the days where I did win that day? What were the days where I met the goals I wanted to meet? And how did I work on those days compared to how were the rest of the other days for me? So what are the things I needed last week to make sure that I won that day? So when I say I win my day, that means I end my day feeling like I have had a successful day. I might not be super energetic, but I have accomplished the thing that I set for that day. So what I encourage you to do is to set a goal for each single day so that you can say, well, if I hit this goal, even if it's not, like today for me, it was paint my bathroom. I painted my bathroom, I won my day. Even if it wasn't a fabulous day and I didn't have a ton of energy, I won my day because I painted my bathroom. So which days were like that last week? What happened on those days? And try to evaluate those days based on last week's goals. So how was your sleep? How was your water? How was your energy? How was your food? What days did you have a good mood day? Like, was it because you got outside and took a walk? What things happened on those days that made those days better? That way you have some information to work with and something to move forward from. So review last week. That's your first step. Number 2, do a brain dump. So that means you sit down and you think of every single thing that has to happen this week. Scheduling, food, all the things that you have to do, whether it is the trash has to go out, you have to buy certain groceries, people have to be places, you need to buy cleats for your kids who are doing soccer, every single thing. Put it on that piece of paper so that that piece of paper has everything on it. And then what you need to do after you've done your brain dump, get all your kids, if you have kids that you have to do this with. We do this in a family meeting now. I used to do it just with my husband because we had littler kids. Now we have big kids. So I have to get those kids in here because I need to know what do they need also. So it's not just me now, and it's not just me and my husband, but what do the big kids need? Do they need a car? Do they need to go somewhere? Do I need to sign permission slips? So you need to make sure you have a brain dump kind of for everybody in the household. And if you have elderly parents you're taking care of, if you have all of those things, all of those moving parts, what do you have to have for your brain dump? Okay, then you look at your schedule. Number 3, look at your schedule and pick your goal for the week. Pick what it will be the thing that will really make it so you win your week. So is it, I want to get 4 workouts in? Is it, I want to start watching the 2B Mindset videos, but I haven't watched any of them yet? Is it that I bought them, but I haven't watched them because I haven't gone all in? Is it that I want to do the Ultimate Portion Fix and I haven't done it yet and I want to start doing that? Schedule your workouts, schedule your food, schedule your all of your goals for the week, the things that you want to have happen. And so like one of the reasons I had to paint my bathroom is that we have to have a graduation party in May. I have a bunch of little steps that have to happen between now and then for me to get to that longer term goal. This was one of the very first ones. Our bathroom had kids peeling wallpaper off. I had to take care of it. This was one of those things I had to do for my long-term goal, which was going to happen in May. So look at your long-term goals, figure out what your baby steps are to get to that long-term goal. That's your winning of your week. What do you have to do that? So if you want to lose 60 pounds, you're not going to lose 60 pounds if you don't watch the videos and you don't do the portion fix and you don't do 2B mindset and you don't work out and you just keep treading water. What's the baby step you can take this week that you win your week? So is it 2 workouts? Is it 1 workout? Is it take a walk every day? Whatever it is, that's what you need to do. And then every day you need to go, what am I doing today to win my day? Is today the day that I take a walk? Is today the day that I try asparagus? Is today the day that I, make sure I get to bed by 9 p.m. so I get enough sleep so I'm ready for tomorrow? So figure out what those are. Now, one thing that I do and my husband does is we set alarms on our phone for every day. So if I need to get up at 5 a.m. some days and 7 on others, I set those alarms on Sunday so that I don't have to worry about those moving parts later on in the week. So this is part of my scheduling. I set alarms on my phone for pickups and drop-offs of kids. Oh my gosh, I've forgotten kids before. So you have to set, I totally have. I've left him at work, I've left him at church, I've left him at youth group, I've left him at basketball. Probably, it's almost always the same kid too, and it's nothing against him, I just forget. So I have to set alarms for drop-off and for pickup, because if you don't set them for pickup, and that would be the same for, yeah, that's exactly right. And so I have to set my alarms for everything that happens during the week. So I have kids that have youth group and all kinds of stuff happening, piano lessons, and I forget about it. Oh, that's fine, Allison. Okay. So I set alarms on my phone. This is all part of my schedule, scheduling my menu, scheduling my workout. And if you feel like you want to learn something or do a test, this is something that we also do in our household. So like when daylight savings time happened, we decided we were going to try a week-long test to see if we could put the kids to bed later and see if that works better for our schedule, because they were not going to bed and it was causing a lot of grief. We're still running this test, but when you run the test, you can say, this is just for 1 week and I can try it and see how it works. So whether it is picking a different breakfast that you're gonna have every week, every day of the week, and just see how it goes. And have it for just 1 week, just give it a test, like trial run of something in your life. Whether it is trying a different workout that you've been wanting to do, just say, I'll do it for 1 week and that's it. And if I don't like it after that week, I'll go back to what I like. But it doesn't hurt to try something new. And if you only say I'm doing it for a week, it gives you a chance to test new things out and see if you can learn something or do something new. So we're still trying this whole bedtime thing. We have another, we're trying it for 2 weeks to see how it goes. Okay. Let's see. Number 4. What is your contingency plan? So we have it, so sometimes it's called an emergency checklist, but you need to have a contingency plan for all the moving parts in your life. So if you get to the end of your day and you're so tired and you can't cook dinner and you're gonna buy pizza for everybody else in the house, what are you gonna eat so that you still feel like you win your day? So for me, I keep bags of frozen vegetables and eggs in the house. That's my contingency plan so that I always know I have a healthy meal. It might not be what fits my containers or even what fits 2B mindset for the end of the day. That's too bad. It's all better than me having a big, huge piece of Bruno's pizza with all the toppings on it. It's going to be better. And I can say, they got taken care of, and I did my best to take care of myself. Yes, a backup plan. So your backup plan, your contingency plan, you need to have one for workouts. You need to have one for food. Sorry, Sarah. You need to have one for what if your kids blow up at you? What if you don't get sleep because you have a newborn? What if your kid wipes poop all over the bathroom wall right before lunchtime. Like, what if? Have your backup plan ready. Have your backup plan ready if you're in a bad mood. Have somebody on your list that you can, yes, exactly. You call someone, have somebody on your list that you can call if you're having a bad day or if you feel disconnected and you need to have somebody to call. You don't have to tell them, but you can have it written down so you don't have to remember when that happens. So if you have to have a backup plan for food, write it on a list or a note card or something, a Post-it, whatever, so that when you're in that bad space, you don't have to remember because you're not going to be able to. So, but if you have it written down, if I'm yelling at the kids, I'm going to call this person. If I'm buying pizza, I'm going to eat this instead. And that way you can still win your day, even if you don't feel like it's going the way you were hoping for it to go. Okay, so an emergency checklist that doesn't revolve around you giving in to all of the bad habits that you used to have and trying to form new habits. Okay, and so number 5 is once you create your plan, tell someone about it. That accountability, whether you tell the people in your group, whether you tell your husband, whether you tell whoever you live with, whether you tell whoever it is, tell someone about what your plan is, what your goals are, and what your plan is for the week. Because if you can tell them what your plan is, you've said it out loud, you know they're paying attention, and you know that they've kind of checked you. So you can say, if on Wednesday when I'm having a bad day, if I buy pizza, I'm going to eat this instead. Check me. I give you permission to tell me, I told you I wasn't going to have pizza, I'm going to have this instead. And that way, you have accountability, and you can do it in your groups. You can do it with your coach. You can do it with anybody that whoever it is in your life that you trust, to not be mean about it, but instead to be kind and willing to help. So, and then when you get to the end of the week, hopefully you'll realize it doesn't have to be perfect. Winning your week doesn't mean that you lost 10 pounds, you did every workout, and you had a perfect day. And if you don't do that, then that's not going to be, then you didn't win. That's not the case. Winning your week means you have a plan, it's a guide, and you've done your very best to stick to what you said you were going to do without giving in because you didn't have a backup, or you didn't have somebody accountable to you, or you didn't have it taken care of because you didn't realize you had to travel on this day. You know what your brain dump brought about, you know what your contingency plan is, and you know your emergency checklist, and you know who's going to keep you accountable. And if you have all those things in place, you should be able to win your week. This should be an awesome week for all of us. So that's what I have for you. I told you. Let me see. It's like 10 minutes. So I talk fast. I don't have a lot of content. If anybody has any questions or comments, please unmute yourselves and ask a question, or however you do something differently, I would love to hear it. Because if you have other ways that you plan your week or we have family meetings now, whatever it is that you do, what do you do so that you can take care of your family and yourself, so that you can do the best for you, so we can make changes in our lives like we're trying to. Does anybody have any?
I just have something to add. I really like how the idea of the brain dump, something that I did today, just before Mass started, I was sitting at church, that I think I recommended this to some people one time, so I did it myself, is also just jotting down like who you want to be for the week as well. So like in addition to your goals, so I did it like with my goals, but also just like thinking about kind of like the ways that you struggled. So I guess this would be both step 1 and 2. Like where you struggled. So like this past week, I really struggled with my motherhood. So like a lot of my goals for this week are just like who I want to be as a mom, and like how I want to feel as a mom, and like how to go throughout my day. So like, and like what virtues I want to work on. So it's not super concrete things, but also just like the person that you want to become, so that you can remember those things as well.
And did you tell your husband?
Not yet, because I never talked to this guy. He's always gone. That'll come. But yeah, accountability is really important, and it's hard. I think that's like the hardest thing is somebody knowing like what you're going to work on and then like having them hold you accountable. So, but because it works, like you know, having the people that are going to look out for you.
And you don't want them necessarily to like be mean about it, or like you want to make sure that it's somebody who will be very kind about it, who doesn't, you don't feel like they're parenting you.
Right. Like support, like how can I help you get there? How can I?
Right. Or like, I just want to remind you, this is what you said. You can still eat the donut, but this is what you said you were going to do instead of eat the donut, but you do whatever you want. I just want to be here so you know that you said this, and I just want to remind you.
Yeah. And I see.
So yeah, I see what you're doing, but this is your life and you can do what you want to do, but I'm going to remind you of what you said you wanted to do on Sunday night when you told me your plans for the week, because that's what you asked me to do for you.
Yeah.
So that they're not like tattling or being mean about it, or, you know, calling you out necessarily in a mean way. Yeah. Like I have actually knocked the donut out of my husband's hand before, and I probably shouldn't have, but but he told me he didn't want to eat them and he has a hard time. So I would just walk past and just, I don't do that anymore. Just eat the donut. I don't care. Do whatever you want. It's your life. This is your donut, you know? So, okay. Does anybody else have anything?
Can someone
I'll tell you, I had like 2 quippy things. Did you just call me out, Megan? Did you say I'll bet Sarah has something?
No.
I didn't hear that if she did.
I thought she was like, I'll bet Sarah has something. But I do. So I think that like the concept of that emergency checklist is so key. And I had to write mine down. Like I had to be something like the first thing is pause. That's literally number 1. Number 2 is literally Hail Mary. And number 3 is literally walk away. And I needed to have quick things that I could do, but then also longer things that I could do. So that if I needed to keep going or needed something more involved. But then 2 quippy things that my daughter's holding my baby and he's crying. 2 quippy things that came around recently. The first one had to do with oh, for Pete's sake. Now I'm thinking of the baby. Emergency checklist. I'll think of it. I can't remember. I'll have to post it in the group if I remember. You're not kidding. We had a busy day today.
Yeah.
Is there any forms?
I can't remember.
What did you say, Anne? Did you say something?
Are there any forms or like structure where somebody said this is an emergency checklist?
I can look and see. I thought our team had one, so I can look and see if we've got an emergency checklist. But if you think about the places in your life where things kind of fall apart. So for me, it's like when my older kids attack me, that's when I tend to fall apart. My little kids doesn't do much to me. Like I can handle that. But when the older kids do, I feel like I have to have more of an emergency checklist for that. So I guess I just need to, I'll look and see if we can find the emergency checklist paper and we can post it in the groups for you guys.
Kelly talked about it a while ago too. Not a while ago. Like within the past few weeks, we had a call about it, didn't we?
Do we have one just about that?
I think
the emergency checklist is just whatever resets you when you are losing it. Whatever brings you joy, whatever brings peace in your life. So a lot of mine, I've got go outside. I've got, the more involved things are me going down to the barn and hanging out with my goats, because those are the things that kind of ground me and reset me and bring me back to reality and not like losing my, what with my kids, But I remembered my 2 other things. Can I say them real quick, Angie? Is that okay?
Of course.
You're adding my goats to your checklist. There's a lot of babies right now. I told somebody, I was like, you cannot be sad after watching the baby goats jump around. Okay, so the first one is a little quickie thing. but just not letting a bad 5 minutes ruin your whole day. And somebody said that once, where it's like, look, you didn't have a bad day, you had a bad 5 minutes. And it really was a bad 5 minutes, but you can't let it ruin your whole day. You can't let that bring your whole thing down. And the other thing was that even in a difficult season, your purpose and your goals don't change.
Say that again.
Even if you're in a difficult season, your purpose and your goals don't change. So how you go about them might change a little bit, but it's not like God's vision for your life is completely different because you're having a difficult season. That's why you need what Angie said, that contingency plan, where, you know, like everything went sideways despite your best efforts. And my kids had cereal for dinner one night. Like, we ended up going to church real late and, you know, whatever. And I went to the grocery store and I bought cereal, and that's what I had for dinner. But I have to have a contingency plan so that it doesn't completely derail me.
Right, because cereal won't derail them. But if we get to the end of our day and we had cereal 2 or 3 times, we might feel derailed.
Absolutely.
And a lot of times it's just feeling like that's not really going to derail your life, but we put a lot of weight and pressure on ourselves. And it's okay to have cereal sometimes, but if you have a contingency plan, it's a great idea to use that, to have it in place and then use it. So even if it's just a sweet potato in your house and a veggie burger, or whatever you have in your freezer, something that you can go to so that you don't feel like you lost it when really it was just a meal.
Well, and that's the beauty, honestly. I know this sounds like a commercial, but that's the beauty of Shakeology. Like, I don't have my shake for dinner, but there are times that if things are going sideways, I have my shake and then I only have one piece of pizza, or like I have my shake when I'm craving something that's not great at the end of the day. Because even if I've had even if it's my second shake for the day, I don't have 2 shakes very often, but I'd rather have a second shake at the end of the day than, you know, hot dogs or pizza or cereal or whatever.
Yes, completely.
And it's fabulous if you mix it with yogurt. We do plain yogurt with especially chocolate Shakeology in it. It feels like you're eating pudding. It's so awesome.
Okay, anybody else? Okay, then let's do a closing prayer and then we will be done. Just like that, like half an hour or less together tonight. Please bless each of these ladies this coming week. Bless their days and let each moment be offered to you as a gift. Watch over their families as we strive to make changes and help us to see you in all that we do. We offer all these prayers in your most holy name. Amen. Have a great week, ladies. Thank you for showing up. I appreciate it.